Thank you for staying with us. Before we went on the break, we're looking at the intrigues surrounding the cross-carpeting of 27 state lawmakers in Rivers State from the PDP to the APC. And then we also told you of this breaking story that the Rivers State government is demolishing the State House of Assembly complex that was weeks ago set ablaze by arsonists. Some who are not yet, most of them have not been identified as we speak. And there are reports that some persons have not even, these persons have not been arrested. But we have our correspondent, senior correspondent Uche Okoro, standing by to bring us up to speed with developments there. Uche, if I get correctly, those are pictures of the assembly complex that we just saw. Quickly talk to us. What is going on with this demolition? Is this to prepare that area for renovation work? What really is going on?
Right now, I am just in front of me, just behind me is you can see, if you can look far behind me, that's the dome of the Rivers State House Assembly over there. That's the blue dome of the Rivers State House Assembly.
Right, we can see
complex
it.
That complex is currently being demolished as I speak right now. The entire Moscow Road here in Port Harcourt has been barricaded by low bed trucks, about 3 or 4 of them on both sides of the road, while those low bed trucks have cordoned off the road while the bulldozers are at work right inside the complex of the assembly of the Rivers State House Assembly, bringing down the building, the auditorium, where the 27 lawmakers have been using as a makeshift chamber to hold their sittings since the 30th of October, has been brought down. And then the very epicenter of the assembly complex, the chamber, is currently being brought down. So that's the situation here at the Rivers State House Assembly. I'm just a few blocks away for security reasons because, of course, there is no access to the assembly. It is being heavily guarded by security personnel. That's why I'm standing a safe distance from the ongoing activity to speak to you right now.
Uche, for clarity's sake, are you saying that the complex that was attacked by the arsonists, earlier in the maybe 2 months ago or thereabouts, it's not the same one that is being brought down by the machinery that is being used to bring down the current assembly? Is it the same place that we saw yesterday where the 27 lawmakers who defected?
Exactly. That's the same building that was attacked at night on that Sunday night when I broke that news at about 9 p.m. That same complex, it's an assembly. When you the word complex should paint the picture to you of a place that has offices, auditoriums, the chamber, and a lot of other buildings. So as I speak to you, that complex is being brought down. There was the place the particular point or spot that was attacked that night, that was burnt down that night, is the chamber, the legislative chamber. So that now necessitated the 27 lawmakers to move sitting to the auditorium inside the same complex. So now as I speak to you, that chamber is being brought down. The auditorium has been brought down. The entire complex is going down as I speak to you. So it is the same location the same spot where those 27 lawmakers sat to defect, the same place that they have also held their plenary since the 30th of October. The entire complex is being brought down.
Right. There are reports about this demolition is to ensure or give room for renovation work. Is that what you're hearing? Uche, can you hear me? All right, our correspondent Uche Okoro just bringing us up to speed with regards to the demolition of the State Assembly complex there in River State. And he mentioned something that it is the particular place is where the 27 lawmakers that defected made as a makeshift spot for them to meet when the arsonists, attacked the chambers itself. So perhaps we'll get more details from him with regards to this demolition. But let's bring our other guest now. Political analyst Biodun Showumi joining us in the studio. Good to have you this morning. Let's begin with this demolition. You heard our correspondent there talking about this demolition taking place now. One will wonder, why now?
Yeah, for me, it's quite clear with this demolition now. I would describe it as executive recklessness. What was filed before the Rivers State High Court, and which the judge granted an ex parte order on, was for renovation. Renovation of the burnt chambers. The auditorium was existing. It was not burnt, being used, converted, into a temporary chamber until the chamber is renovated, and the House has successfully met inside it. But with the ex parte motion brought yesterday by, which was had yesterday, filed on November 1st, October 30, assigned on November 1st, what became clear is that the judge had the ex parte motion, even against all the logic of common sense, in the sense that ex parte motion is about something very urgent, you need to arrest it so that you don't force a fait accompli on the court. This case was assigned on November 1st, and the judge did not hear it until December 12th. So what is urgent about it? It should have been through injunction. So it's quite clear, in my view, that that's a political judgment. And in that, the judge made reference to the fact that the state government needs to renovate, not to demolish, not to rebuild. So the fact that the government can hide under that judgment and today commence the demolition of the entire complex is, for me, executive recklessness. Why do you need to waste money, destroy the whole complex, just because you need to settle a political score with some members of your House of Assembly? The other side of it is, we should not forget the fact that there is a Federal High Court case on this matter, filed again by the same Edison. The case has been argued, briefs taken, submissions made, and the judge has retired to write his judgment. Judgment is expected in January. And the same Edison, who claims to be the factional speaker, has approached another Rivers State High Court on the same subject matter, seeking the same reliefs as sought with the Federal High Court. For me, that is forum shopping. That is forum shopping. NJC has condemned such practices in the past because the Federal High Court and the State High Courts are courts of coordinate jurisdiction. So you cannot be shopping, even within the same protocol. You cannot do that. That's quite clear. It's an abuse of court process. Now, the government has managed to hide under that abuse to actually destroy the whole complex, irrespective of what the judgment of the Federal High Court will be. If you look at the issues clearly, it's almost impossible to expect 4 people to be the State House of Assembly against 27, irrespective of the logic of their moving. I heard Inebe's argument about factionalization. But is that the only thing said, mentioned, the only proviso under Section 109, subsection 1G? No. There are 2 provisos there. One is division, and the other is merger or as a result of factionalization. So on the issue of division, those House of Assembly members, claimed that there was a division at the secretariat of the party. So will the division at the secretariat of the party constitute sufficient ground? That is a matter for the court to decide.
Right.
It's not about the issue of factionalization. He only focused on factionalization. But that was not what was pleaded by those people. The issue of the salary, the November salary not paid, it's quite clear that the lawmakers were arguing that was what triggered their reaction, against the governor. After the president met with them, that the governor withheld, the allocation to the House, and that triggered the reaction. It's not a reason for defecting. It's a trigger to the defection.
That's right. Let me go to Port Harcourt with Mr. Saraibe, who's been there for us, sharing his own perspective to this issue. But Nigerians will be wondering, River State is very key, an important state in Nigeria, and then it's also got some leaders, which you made allusion to, that, we the leaders of River State. We're bringing you a breaking news from our channel as regards the demolition going on there at the complex. How do you see all of this? When we have leaders in River State, how are you reading this? And how do you think the leaders can weigh in on this matter to prevail upon or to prevail on the two warring parties?
Thank you very much. First and foremost, we are just hearing of demolition. But like I said before, when the two elephants fight, it's the grass that suffers. And that is why we in River State, we are saying we need peace. Because if there is peace, all these things will not be there. Of course, in a battle like this, there are strategies, and everybody has his own strategy for survival. So you cannot say, oh, this man has done this or that at this stage. What is important is, how do we arrive at peace? Now, we know that all these problems are being caused by the disagreement between father and son, which they also claim to be family matter. The family matter is no longer family matter, it's taking a different dimension. So we are not happy with it. Having said that, I have to be clear. River State is suffering because of this crisis, and we are not happy. The people of River State are not happy. The demonstration yesterday will also attest to that we are not happy with what is going on. The former governor has been there for 8 years. He didn't have this kind of problem. He said he claimed to have brought the present governor, but he forgot so soon that some other persons brought him to power. He forgot so soon that he was not grateful to those who made him what he was. Rather, he was very disgraceful to them, to the extent that the former First Lady father's property was demolished, and the property allocated to some persons until she intervened and was able to rescue her own property. That is somebody who assisted you. But I know how many times she called me to support. I know how many times Mrs. Jonathan fought the Ejo elders. I know how many times she fought the River State elders. She knows how many times she fought the Niger Delta leaders to make sure you become governor. And today, you are talking of ingratitude and that you cannot withstand ingratitude. Are you grateful? The same person who is now behind all this scenario used two persons, Ibibia Water and Go Round, to secure a court order which was not proper at that time, because Gioaki was the chairman of the party. And yet there was an election that elected Gioaki. But they came to the court that it was them that were elected. How grateful was he to them? He used them to took over the structure of the party.
Mr. Saraigbe, if we want to get you correctly, sorry to butt in, are you actually taking sides in this, in this hulabaloo going on in River State? Because,
I'm not taking sides. I'm saying is, what I'm trying to say is, if somebody has ruled for 8 years and had a peaceful reign, whatever you do to bring somebody, allow that person to have a peaceful reign. If there is misunderstanding, you can discuss in-house. Don't bring it to the public. The moment you bring it to the public, you are trying to bring up sentiments. And these sentiments are no good. Today, you are talking about the demolition of first bombing of the River State House of Assembly. Now, we are talking about demolition. It's River State money. The money spent is our money. And we are destroying the money. People are hungry. There are a lot of issues to be addressed. Then we are demolishing the house. What is the cause of it? Because father and son are fighting. And we are not happy with that. That's the rest of the problem.
Mr. Sarek, we need to quickly now move
to make matter worse.
To our guest in Abuja. Yes. We need to quickly move to our guest in Abuja because we have limited time and we want to give everyone as much time as possible to speak on this matter. Inibehe, we have confirmed now that the demolition is on because you were saying that if this was true, it's an unfortunate incident. We need you to shed more light on that because our guest in the studio, Shomi, has said that this is executive recklessness.
So if, as I said, I can now, since you have now confirmed that the demolition is going on. I'm putting it on record. That is unacceptable. That is also condemnable. Public funds should not be dissipated in such a irresponsible manner. I don't know why the premises or the complex is being demolished. I do not think that will really substantially resolve the issues. But again, that is what has become the very brazen and violent culture of Rivers politics over time. Now, I have also made the point that the members claim that I want to clarify that. They said they are defecting because there is division. Division and factionalization is one and the same. If you read the case of Abegunde and Udo State House of Assembly. And I also said that under Section 221, you cannot sponsor a person for election except you're a party. That is, there is no room for independent candidacy. Section 222 lists the basis and the conditions that an association that wants to exist as a political party must meet. And I said that as of this morning, PDP has met those requirements. So you cannot say that there is division in the party, because what is division has been defined by the Supreme Court, and it does not accommodate what these 27 members are saying. However, that is not the end of the matter. By virtue of Section 106 of the Constitution, you cannot even be a candidate for election to a House of Assembly unless you are sponsored by a political party, of which you must also be a member. So we cannot just dismiss it by wave of the hand to say that, oh, they have the right to defect. But for that defection to take effect, Section 109 sub 2 says that the Speaker of the House of Assembly shall give effect to Section 109 sub 1. That is 109 sub 2. The question now is, which of the Speaker will give effect to it? And that brings me to what we have been told, or what we have seen, to be the ex parte order given by the High Court of Rivers State. Now, there are questions regarding the propriety, regarding the legality, regarding the constitutionality of that ex parte order. But to the extent that that order is still subsisting, we cannot ignore it. So the implication is that I anticipate that within today, if they are not already planning it, I will not be surprised if we read this morning or in the coming hours that Edison Ehi has given effect to the provisions of Section 109 sub 1 by declaring their seats vacant, which will now mandate INEC to conduct elections in those constituencies. But let us even assume that Governor Fabura has committed impeachable offenses. I had read before now that the notice of impeachment was served on the governor. That appears to be the genesis of this. Nigerians have not even seen a copy. I wanted to see the... Yes, there was a report that it had been served with a notice of impeachment before now. Nigerians have not seen that notice of impeachment. I want to see what his offenses are. If it is about funds to the members of the House of Assembly, that cannot be a reason for defection. If that is a ground for impeachment, they should come plain and tell us. I don't understand what is going on, but this is unnecessary because the victims of this crisis are the Rivers State people who are entitled to good governance, who are entitled to responsible leadership. And while all this crisis is going on, Rivers State is suffering.
We hear you,
So
but we'll
this has to
quickly
be
move over to Rivers State for our correspondent Uche Okoro to bring us more details coming out of there with regards to this demolition. Uche, earlier I was asking the matter of if this was about renovation. What are you hearing? Is it this demolition about the fact that they want to ensure that renovation happens there? What really is the reason for this demolition?
I'm not in the mind of whoever it is that is responsible, even though there are many persons are making informed guesses and making an informed guess as to who might be behind this. No one has categorically come out to say that I am responsible for this. But of course, if you've been following the politics of Rivers State, you might just well be able to make an informed guess. But as to the exact motive of what's going on, I can say. But what I can tell you right now is that the complex is being brought down. Now, if the objective is to if the objective is to renovate, persons might begin to ask, why bring down the entire building to renovate it? So what's going on? Realistically speaking, I believe that you're rolling the live the live pictures of what's going on here. The viewers can see that if it is if the plan is to from the pictures that we're showing, it doesn't look like it's a renovation that is planned. Perhaps if something is being planned, maybe the plan is to rebuild the complex because it is being brought down. Perhaps they intend to rebuild the complex at a later date. But as I speak to you, from my common sense analysis of what I'm seeing right now, just behind me, I can hear the bulldozers at work while speaking right now. I can hear the bulldozers still at work. And from what I can see, common sense analysis tells me that the plan is not renovation. If there is any plan at all, maybe they intend to rebuild the entire complex because it is going down.
Uche, very quickly, let me quickly ask you this. There is a budget of 800 billion naira approved by the ESCOs a few days ago. Now, the court has recognized the Labour Party member as the speaker, who is loyal to the incumbent governor, Fubara. Would it be, what would you be in place, or what exactly do you think is going to happen next? How would the governor present the budget to the House? Or in effect, does it look like there is no House of Assembly complex at all as it is now? Because it looks like the structure is being brought down. What is going to happen to the budget that the governor is planning to present to the House?
Well, two administrations ago, with the at the River State House of Assembly, for those who are familiar with the politics of River State, this is not if perhaps an entity that bears the nomenclature River State House of Assembly, if perhaps such an assembly chooses to sit outside the designated complex called River State House of Assembly, if they decide to hold plenary elsewhere, it will not be the first time that's happening. It's happened before in River State where the assembly members were meeting elsewhere. So
Uche,
as to
because
what's
of
going to
our
happen
time,
to the budget,
we have to let you
cannot
go.
tell for now.
We'll definitely keep tabs with you for more details coming out of River State. Let's quickly come to you now, Shomi, for your reaction to Inibehe's statement earlier, and then to further talk about what our reporter has just said. Yeah.
Yes, you only need to go and read section 109, subsection 1G, and the provisos. It's quite clear that the language used is if there's a division without defining it, or merger, or factions which sponsored that candidate or that member, the House of Assembly members. It's very clear. The intention is not to confuse or to actually equate division with factionalization. In my view, I think the courts will have to interpret
If there's
that.
a division without defining it, I think the Supreme Court at a point in time, made clarifications that the division has to be at the national level and probably not the state level, if my memory serves me right.
Well, possibly. The argument is that there's division at the national level, at the national sectorial. That's the argument of those lawmakers. So let's wait and see how the court will interpret that.
All right.
But on the demolition, I think it's executive recklessness.
Again.
And I think they misled the judge to grant an order restraining, under the guise of renovation, to restrain the 27 members from being able to use that premises.
Mr. Sarigbe, your final thoughts on this, especially how to bring the former governor of the state and the current governor, Sim Fubara, together, because governance is suffering as we speak.
Well, I am privy to the fact that the Rivers elders and leaders of thought under former Governor Rufus Ada George is making effort to reach out to the both parties with a view of making peace. But having said that, you can only get peace when they are ready for peace. Mr. President tried his best to make peace. One party has been preaching peace, the other party from day one has been saying no, there will be no peace. So if the elders intervened and we are able to get peace, good luck to it. But we Rivers people want peace. We don't want what we are seeing here. We want
We
peace in
we
the
have to
state.
quickly move over now to Abuja. Inibehe, your final word on this matter, especially the implication on governance for the state.
Well, the Supreme Court has ruled in cases in the past pertaining to impeachment, the case of Dapia Long and Dariye, Inakuju and Adeleke, that proceedings of a House of Assembly must take place within the confines of the building known to be the House of Assembly. So you can't just hold proceedings of the House anywhere. That is 1. 2. I have also made the point that by virtue of Section 106 of the Constitution, you cannot be a member of the House of Assembly or contest election except you're a member of a party and you are sponsored by that party. And I want to also state clearly that within the purview, within the language and the intent of the Supreme Court decision in Abegunde and Ondo State House of Assembly, there is no factionalization or division in the PDP. Therefore, their defection is unconstitutional.
And
let the matter be resolved peacefully.
To leave your thoughts, Inibehe, thank you very, very much. We'll come to you now, show me. There are questions as to, is this the 27 lawmakers paving the way for Wike's entry into the APC? Is that what you see?
Well, I don't think so, because when you actually look at the facts on the ground, Wike does not need to be in APC, and he can choose to be in APC. People move around. We all know what happens in Nigeria. But the fact of the matter is, those lawmakers claimed they were provoked after the president's peace meeting.
All right.
That their allocations were withheld, no salary, nothing. So they felt provoked, to leave the party, to leave the PDP.
We must thank you, gentlemen. So much to be said with regards to this issue. But let me begin with you, political analyst Biodun Shomi. Thank you for your time, as well as former spokesman of PANDEF, Anabs Sarah Igbe. Thank you for your time as well as lawyer Inibehe Fiong. Thank you for your time on the program. Thank you so much.
Thank you.